Hello everyone, in this video we will be talking about how this tool actually helps us with the documentation of NCP as well as case portfolio. Let's jump straight into the Google spreadsheet and have a look at some of the tabs that actually helps us with documentation. The first you see is CP1 and CP2. It will always be at the start of the Google spreadsheet tabs. CP1 stands for Case Portfolio 1, CP2 stands for Case Portfolio. As the name suggests, they are actually the copy of the case portfolio tables that you might be using. Next is the DCN. This is something that we will not be talking about much today because I created this in order to simulate how a dietetics care note will actually be written as you go into a Malaysia hospital. So at best, it only serves a educational purpose. Next is probably the main highlight of today is our NCP sheet, Nutrition Care Process Notes, complete with all 6 pages. And this is something that we'll start with as we copy it into our Google document. Now let's jump into this Google document, which is included in the link in the description. This is for your case portfolio template. You see here to the left are all of the headers that I have make sure to design into this document, and everything is according to the page numbers that it should appropriately have. You can choose to delete any of these headers at any point of time. And let's now try this template out, starting with our NCP sheet first. So coming all the way down to this appendix where we will usually include our written NCP, now we are going to copy a digital copy of NCP. So this is the first page, coming all the way down. We'll press Shift and press the button. So the entire page is highlighted, right-clicking it, copy. Coming back to this page, right-clicking it now, paste. It now gives us the option to link to spreadsheet, making sure that it is linked to spreadsheet, and we'll wait for it to paste. Sometimes it takes a while for it to paste, but no matter, because you can always just jump back to your Google spreadsheet and start copying the next page. There are a little bit of error over here, so we just have to fix it, making sure everything is as close to the original NCP note as possible. So now everything is perfectly fit in one page, and we can now Control Enter to page break, making sure that nothing will stick together, everything will remain at one page. And coming back now to this NCP sheet, we'll copy the second page, again Control C, now using the hotkey of Control V, which is for paste. We are going to paste this, and as we wait for it, we are not going to waste time and immediately jump back to this spreadsheet, copying next this page. Again, Control C, jumping back, it will have pasted already. Now we are going to Control Enter and paste. Now we are not going to wait again because after a dime comes the biochemical page, and we are going to immediately paste it in. Control C again, jumping back, should be done. Control Enter and Control V, paste. Now let's jump back again to our food and nutrition, dietary intake. Control C, jumping back, it would have been done usually, and all we have to do is just Control Enter and paste. It's not pasting well right now, and if you see here for the biochemical data, also something is running. So what we'll do is Control Undo first, and I'll show you how to actually fix the biochemical problem first. We can pull a little bit over here. The problem always starts at the millimole and later the unit. Once you pull a little bit, everything usually would be nicely fitted here. A dime is a little bit problematic because the words are usually very messy, but that's something that we can actually easily fix. So let's reduce the size of this thing first, because it doesn't have to be very large, and making sure to justify everything over here, coming all the way down and pressing justified. and everything is easier to see, but right now the spacing is very poor. So what we'll do is we'll add on a 1.5 spacing, and you see that it actually runs to the next page. And the way that we can actually fit it within the same page is to take advantage of the small margin and widening the table as much as possible. Now when we go down, we would have saved a significant amount of space, but it seems it is still not enough yet. So what we can do is actually going back to the Google spreadsheet and try to make space for the dime. What we can do is, now you see here, you can copy and right click, paste special, paste values only, and you can start editing it by double clicking and editing everything. If you would still like to have the same copy, means you still wanted the automated copy, because sometimes we might go back to other tabs and key in some of the data that we got wrong, and so we still want the NCP to actually continue to generate the dime. This is why this auto section is put in here, because in this is another copy of the automated a dime. So all you have to do whenever you think, oh, we have to re-edit it again, just simply press copy, come back here to this big space, escape, right clicking, paste special, paste values only, and everything would have been pasted. Okay, let's start editing it by first saving the most amount of space by doing this. Sometimes you can also save space by making sure that things that don't have to get entered can put it into a comma form. And let's fix some spelling errors as we are at it. So right off the bat, I see here other medical diagnosis is unnecessary because this person actually have underlying on dialysis for 3 years. You can change it to lowercase. For today, financed by GKSP, let's change this to a uppercase as well. Stay with wife, present with father, main caretaker, works as secretary. You see here that this working hours is also a little bit broken, so we can change this again, or you can completely omit it as well and include it only the number of working hours is actually working. Family history is fine. Anthropometry history immediately okay, and overall changes you can choose to give it this symbol instead, decreasing in 19 months, and all these things here are a little bit of problem. So you don't have to include that, because the main point of for this patient is actually we wanted to communicate to other dietitian this patient is continuously losing weight significantly across 19 months, and he has unintentional weight loss. Intake 2000, protein, carbohydrate. You can also choose to completely omit carbohydrate distribution. If it's not relevant for your case. Knowledge, we don't have to include this word knowledge here, so we'll just fix that. And dietitian encounter, non-prior, ONS, I will exclude this so as to not mislead other people who might be reading this. ONS total, etc., etc. Remark, patient does not eat sweet drinks. Let's cut out that full stop. To the protein, cut out this unnecessary space. Fluid balance, slightly dented temple. Edema, let's give it a good uppercase, and that should be fine. And now we'll enter it, and you see the changes will actually be easily reflected over here. All we have to do is just to come up here. It gives us the option to update. Sometimes it takes a while for it to appear, but any changes that you do in your Google spreadsheet will eventually see this update option be given to you. So all we have to do is just to press update. Sometimes it takes a while. Once all of this is gone, then you'll see everything is back as it should be. And let's now try to give it another 1.5 spacing, as well as a justified alignment. And it should fit perfectly into a single page. Now it is messing up the second page, so we might have to fix it by doing this. Okay, biochemical data is also perfectly fit in a single page. Food and nutrition, this we'll start fixing the food and nutrition now. Okay, Coming back to this food and nutrition, one of the problems that might happen as you copy Google Spreadsheet table is that Google Spreadsheet can only copy over a certain number of cells to Google document. So this is actually too many cells that it wanted to copy. So when we actually bring it over here, it doesn't give us the option to link, but instead copy into things that we actually don't want to see. So one way that we can save space is actually by coming over here, and you see that this frequency is actually not a significant part right now. So one option that we can use is by completely deleting this column. And once we've deleted the column, you see that everything will actually run because the formula still register that we wanted to display this column, but the headers are no longer fitting. So this is where we can come in to this formula. You can just simply delete this MNHX M4 that stands for the frequency, making sure there's only one comma, enter it, and copy this all the way down. Paste, and you see that no longer there are any frequency. If you would like to change and indicate that there are frequencies, you can always just come in here, just edit it later on when you copy over the table. So let's try that out right now, and we can come all the way down, copy, and you see that this was the previous table that it copied for us, but this is not the ideal table that we want because it doesn't actually link together. So we'll undo it here first, giving it a clean start, and right clicking and paste again. Now it should give us the option to link to spreadsheet, and everything can be updated from your spreadsheet as well. Coming up over here, it fits perfectly to a single page and gives us the option to link and unlink. There is also another way that we can use to save space, because sometimes we would like our frequency to be included. So let's try that option now. The other way to save space is to cut out all of this unnecessary row. So what we'll do is immediately by copying this and coming all the way up, just right below where we have written. Normally I wouldn't suggest doing this because sometimes you might have to add on more food. So if you add on more food, then this table will no longer actually register all of those changes. You can also choose to save still some space in between so that it will actually calculate. But you see here, all of the reference are actually gone, and so just now we are actually using the option of cut. What you want to do instead is actually use the option of copy. Oh, sorry, the option of right. Just now we were using the options of copy. Now we'll choose cut, and now it moves over. There is a reference problem over here because what this Excel used to do is actually sum up things all the way down here. But now it registers to include itself, this cell itself, for calculations. So it can be easily fixed by making sure that, okay, you want it to count until here only, the 23rd row. So you copy it and change it to 23rd. Once you pull it down, making sure to change every other things as well. You have to change all 4 rows because it primarily depends on this last one that calculates calorie. If you copy it until any other row, you can also for instance, you decided to copy it until the 26 or the 28, then you can just simply change the 33 back to 28. Now we just have to fix a little bit of the margin, the design issue, and we are good to go. So let me just copy this again. Hopefully it will give us the option to link to spreadsheet now, because we have saved enough space. Undo it over here, making sure that we have a clean start, and let us try to copy it. And yes, it gives us the option to link to spreadsheet. And now all we have to do is just to include the 5 out of 7 that we are missing. Yes, we actually can include the 5 out of 7 already. In previous cases, if we have deleted the frequency, you can always just come in here and fix 5 out of 7. And making sure to unlink the table so that these changes will not actually be affected when you add any more new changes in here, and you can just simply copy a new table in. Okay, but we don't want to unlink the table now. So, and since the frequency is already here, then we can just leave it as it is. Okay, so those are the two options. You can either cut the bottom row and bring it up to save space by cutting down all of the rows that you're not using, or in the event that you recorded a lot of food and there is no rows for you to save, then you can choose the option to save it at the frequency area by just making sure to delete this M4. And once you have deleted it, and making sure that there are only one comma in between, don't put it like this, put it like this instead, and copy it and paste it all the way down, then the frequency tab would be completely deleted. This thing will move over. Okay, that's all for copying the NCP sheet. Now all 6 pages of it are here, and you can review it on your own and do the necessary changes at any point by just using the option of right click, copy, and then paste special, paste values only, and double clicking, it will give you the option to actually edit. Now let's talk about case portfolio. If we come all the way up here, we have first the client history. So usually we'll be typing everything, just as we'll be rewriting the whole NCP and then scan everything and put it inside. And so not only the file will be big, it takes a lot of time for us to rewrite everything that we already know. Although that would be a good practice, but sometimes we would like to save that time. So this is something that can be helpful. Now to copy the case portfolio, you just come over here. You'll see here client history. All you have to do is simply start here and then scroll all the way down to where you want to highlight it. Press shift and then click. Now everything would have been highlighted. You just press copy, moving over here, and paste. Now the option is out and you can see everything is copied over. The Google spreadsheet is already, the column size have already been designed in such a way that it would fit the margin over here. And this margin is actually a wide margin, which means that you can actually still have a lot of space to work with. For instance, we come down here to this dime, we actually pull it quite big, but it can actually still be printed. I wouldn't suggest that you keep adjusting the margin of any tables that you bring over, because if we adjust it too much, it might still look very messy. But everything else, only the dime usually would need adjustment. Everything else should fit into a single page according to the margin that we have given it. Now let's come back to this client history, and you see here there is actually an unnecessary space, so we want to bring it back up, or you can just press delete. Sometimes deleting button is the one that works. Yes, the deleted button works. And now let's get back to copying again. Enter, making sure that there are no space in between, and then we'll paste. Gives us the option to link to spreadsheet. All that's left is just for us to make sure that this is out. And if you would like, you can also fix all of the small margin things. It's more or less okay already, and then you can continue to do it for your NFPF, nutrition diagnosis, comparative standard, intervention, and if you are dealing with follow-up case, you can also put it in. What I will do usually is for every single time I meet the patient, I will make a copy of this template and put in all the data inside. So one new case would have one Google spreadsheet. I would name that, and then another follow-up case, we have another Google spreadsheet. For follow-up cases, I would just be doing this. Coming all the way down, press Shift, click, copy, and let's scroll down to this follow-up over here. Enter, double backspace, press paste. And everything would have been copied over, everything that you need, and you can always just edit it over at the Google spreadsheet, or you can edit it over here. Coming all the way down, just to make sure everything can be justified at the same time. Ctrl-Shift-J is actually a hotkey for justified, and you can also choose the option of 1.5 spacing so that it's easier on the eyes for those who see it, and everything would be at its place. Okay, you can continue to edit more and more. For now, this is where we stand. So it works the same. The principle is just come over here, copy the things that you highlight the things that you would like to copy, and going all the way down, Shift click, right click, or use the hotkey Ctrl C. Coming back here, going to the appropriate header, enter, making sure there's space, Ctrl V, paste, link to spreadsheet, and all that's left is just for yourself to edit the margin or adjustment over here, or you can choose to edit it over here by a right click, copy, and paste special, paste values only option. Make sure to only do this if you're absolutely certain that you don't need anything else to be edited here. Now this case portfolio is also automatically generated, but it is not perfect because my knowledge on actually a machine sentence forming thing, I don't even know the exact name for it, machine sentence forming is not that good. So it can give you some sentences that you can just, at least you have an idea, and you do have to jump back and forth through tabs to actually copy it. Now let's try to do this in real time. What I mean by that, I'm going to boot up a timer right now, and next I'm going to copy everything that I usually need to copy into the Google Doc and see how much time it actually takes for me to bring everything from my Google spreadsheet to my Google Doc. So let's start the timer and jump straight to it. I already opened up a new file prior in order for us to put everything in. So I'll start copy using the hotkey. Coming over here, I'll start with the client history first. Later on, I will also have to copy the abstract, but the abstract is something that you actually have to write yourself. But for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to come down here, copy, and going back up to this abstract, paste, and enter, paste. Later on, we can always edit this. You can always just copy and then put it over here. Alright, let's continue on. Next is our food and nutrition history. Copy, coming down to the appropriate header, enter, and paste. So you see, it doesn't actually need you to be thinking a lot. All the thinking would have already been done as you handle your Google spreadsheet, and all you have to do now is just to be as efficient as possible as you copy it over. The speed of copying is also varied according to the computer that you have. The better your computer, of course, the faster that it will copy. In my experience, the computer at IMU are usually very well maintained, and it handles Google Doc and Google Spreadsheet very well. So perhaps you can consider saving all of your work, all of your copying work until one time, and then just go back to IMU, boot up your computer and copy it one shot. After all, you don't really have the thing at this point. You just have to keep copying everything in. There's no need to be concerned about have I written everything down, have I copied everything, because most of it would have already been done by your Google spreadsheet. Yes, this comparative standard I will explain a little bit more later. Oh, did I? Yes, I accidentally copied the wrong thing. Biochemical. Yes, biochemical data is actually in your CP2. This is my attempt, at least, for making the Google spreadsheet think and actually putting in only the things that are they are not of the normal value. So we can actually further edit this and making sure that this cell is filled in with the appropriate color. Oops. Let's make this black, and it should be here. All you have to do later on is just to continue to check if there are anything else that you need to edit. So let's come back down to nutrition focus physical finding. This is not supposed to be here, so I will delete that table. And let's get back to copying our nutrition focus physical findings over here. Please note that in the Google spreadsheet, the tables are not arranged in chronological order, as in it's not arranged according to the header here. So the anthropometry measurement is already off. So I'll delete this table again, and let's get back to this. And the actual anthropometry should be acquired from this Anthro tab and obtained like this. Control C, coming back and paste. Again, you can align it to the middle by choosing the table properties, and table alignment should be at the center, and you can further edit if the fonts and everything else is not up to your satisfaction. Now let's get back to our nutrition focused physical finding. It's done. Comparative standard, yes. Comparative standard is located in CP1, the one that we already copied. Copy, coming back, and paste. Okay, and now let's get back to our nutrition diagnosis. Right clicking, copy. You can also choose the button of downshift. Actually down, sorry. Oops. For this one it doesn't work, so let's try this. You can choose to edit this. Okay, might take a while, but it's already a lot faster than if we choose to write all of them out by ourselves. Now you see here 20, 13, 14, the numbers are not actually right. What you can choose to do is come over to this format and bullets and numbering, leaves options, and restart numbering. Then it will restart it from 1 by default, and everything would have been fixed. Nutrition intervention. Nutrition intervention is located in the CP1. So let's come all the way down here, copy. And let's fix. It's already copied, so I think I copied it just now. Is it? Oh, this is actually the wrong file. Sorry. Paste. Coming all the way back up just to save this space, and let's continue copying it. Next is the follow-up. All we have to do is just to copy the follow-up. Under normal circumstances, your follow-up will be located in another Google spreadsheet. So let's pretend that this is another Google spreadsheet follow-up. Usually it takes a while for you to boot up the Google spreadsheet, but in my experience, if you are using the IMU computer, those things load those link load super fast, a lot faster as compared to my computer at least. Okay, so at this point we would have copied everything over, at least everything that's before our short reflection and references. Everything is copied over, list of tables, abbreviation, these things will be written later. So how much time have it taken? We took 7 minutes and 28 seconds. What you usually have to type up yourself, from client history to food and nutrition related history to anthropometry measurement and so on and so forth, are all done by copying in 7 minutes. And you only ever have to enter the information once. And any editing can be done in this Google spreadsheet or be done in your Google Doc if you so wish, and without any concern that you have to look at the margin, or you have to be concerned that if I gotten a spelling error and I have to erase the entire row to write everything back again. So biochemical data, it's done. Nutrition focus, physical finding, it's done. Comparative standard, nutrition diagnosis, all the way down to nutrition monitoring and evaluation. Yes, monitoring and evaluation we haven't actually copied. It is in CP2. So it's more or less the same table from our M&E tab. And this can be easily fixed by you highlighting the whole thing, going to the table properties and choosing cell align middle and center. And it's done. So what's left right now is just for you to do the most human part of this case portfolio, and which is something that the machine currently cannot do, is the interpretation of all of the data that you have included over here, as well as checking if there are any errors that you need to fix in terms of design or values. Now it's still 8 minutes. Let's see how long it will take if we wanted to actually copy our NCP sheet over. So NCP sheet, this is really just the same process. Control C using the hotkey will be a lot faster than right clicking with your mouse. Paste, and let's jump back immediately and continue to copy. So as you wait, you can just paste. In my experience at IMU computers, I don't even have to wait. That's how fast the thing will actually copy. So I would suggest that you just make sure to do your dietitian part, student dietitian part, to think very well about your justification and everything, and let the machine worry about the documentation in one shot. So it means you keep all of your documentation and paperwork to a time when you can get access to, say, a IMU computer. Even that as a run will also do. Okay, let's continue to copy it. Paste, paste, paste. You can also choose to yes, we have to fix this. You can also choose to print a physical copy of your NCP for any review from your CI. So what we would usually do if we wanted our NCP to be reviewed by our CI is actually to write it down, and usually our first copy of a dime is rather messy. So we usually would rewrite everything and then give it to our CI, and we do that for every single NCP. But right now you don't have to do that. In fact, you can do your case portfolio at the same time as you do a dime for your CI to actually mark. And during DP2 this might be especially useful because every single case that you put, it has already have a digital copy. All you have to do is just to come into the platform that you store it, which is your Google Drive, and then from them you can choose which case that you wanted to do. Instead of risking you losing the physical copy of it, you can easily make sure that everything is safely kept you can do your NCP as well as your case portfolio at the same time. So for a dime, usually we'll have to take a little bit longer to actually edit it, because a dime is usually the one that will take on 2 pages. You see here the M&E is actually a bit run ready. This is where we can actually take advantage of the small margin of this file. So just position carefully and then pull it over to the 70 and the ruler, and the one. This might be a little bit too small, so let's increase the size. And everything should fit nicely into a single page, and all we have to do here is just backspace, bring everything back up, and everything is nicely fit into a single page. Now next, of course, if we have any follow-up cases, we'll also be copying our follow-up. So this is where we can actually add in follow-up. Give it a header 3, I think. Header 3 will be directly below, and then just continue the same process and copying. This learning point can also be copied over. This is for your own reference, as well as during your SEM 7 case presentation. Okay, for this one, we will continue also to use the table properties. 1 point, middle, center, and you can also shut off the column and minimum row height, and everything should run just fine. Okay, in that case, we would have taken 12 minutes and 55 seconds. In between, I was talking a little bit, so it might be shorter than that, but let's roughly sum it up in 13 minutes. In 13 minutes, all the things that you would usually type over the course of half an hour is already saved. And if you are, even if you are doing follow-up, there are 3 cases follow-up. It's just as simple as you copy and pasting it. And you don't have to ever rewrite your NCP. That's the part I think that will save the most time. But although I must warn you, the ability to write NCP should still be developed. Your handwritten NCP you should still have that skill, and this only serves to speed up the process in terms of preparation for case portfolio. At any point, if you decided to, I don't want to do this case anymore for my semester 8 case portfolio, at any point you can just pull up the other case Google spreadsheet and start copying the dime over. It's as simple as that. You don't have to rewrite everything or potentially risk using time to find out where you actually stored your semester 8 NCP, if that might be a problem for you. Okay, all that's left is just for us to edit everything else. Edit this as well. Long case report. I'll just put tests. You can put in whatever name you would like, and going all the way up, I can also change this to IPD, change this for my hospital, change the date right, change my name, change the student ID, etc., etc. And coming all the way down, this is where I add in my content page. So the way you add in content page in Google is press insert. There should be a tables of content all the way down. And that's it. There are a total of 23 pages. At any time that you actually change your tables, means the pages already run, you can just come back up here and press this refresh button, and everything would have been refreshed. And at any point you would like to update all of your tables from your Google spreadsheet, all you have to do is just come down here and press link objects. Every single one of the link objects would have been shown, and it gives you the option to update all. But just make sure to check everything else before you actually submit it, because the machine can sometimes make error that I did not account for. That is all for this documentation video. It will take us 12 minutes and 55 seconds to copy everything. If you have a faster hardware, that's even better. Use IMU computer, yeah, I'll see you in the next and the last video.